What is poppin', y'all? Welcome back to a new YouTube video, and today we're taking a look at another film review, and a film review we haven't taken a look at yet, and it's a film review, and we haven't done a film review in a while, and I do have a current sort of poll going on my community tab on you guys voting for the next film review. I have another one planned after this, and then you get to pick the next one, so go check it out on my community tab. And other than that, let's actually get into this. This is one of my favourite movies of the year. It was an emotional roller coaster, and I fucking loved it. It's Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. It had ups, it had downs, it made me cry, laugh. It had all the emotions. It was incredible. And without further ado, let's get into the story. So how it started was the Guardians are now living on Nowhere, which we found out through the Christmas special and through the I Am Groot series. And from there, we just get to know that Peter Quill is mourning the loss of Gamora, and he's all drunk all the time, and he's just moping around. They then get attacked by Adam Warlock, which then pushes it into fruition and pushes the story going. He almost kills Rocket. He damages his internal organs, and no one can save Rocket. No one can use the med pack on him. No one can use one of them stem cells with some of them healing stuff on him, because he has a bomb in his chest. And if they take the bomb out, it will explode, kill everyone and him. If they try and heal him, the bomb will explode and kill him. So who they have to go and find this creator, the guy who made Rocket. And we found out who Adam Warlock works for, which is the Golden People, the Golden Ladies, which was an antagonist in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. But they actually work for this guy who's trying to create the perfect species, trying to create humanoid creatures, trying to create humanoid animal hybrids to create this perfect species that are smarter, and he's the high evolutionary. He is forcing evolution. He's trying to play God and cause evolution. And in a Jurassic World quote, just because you can doesn't mean you should. Simple Jurassic World quote there. And continuing from there, they go and fight. They go find Gamora, who then takes them on an Among Us fueled trip to this flesh planet. It's like a flesh rings, and it's all like organisms, and it's like a living planet, sort of like Ego, but also not. And then they get the actual coordinates for his sort of counter Earth, which is all animal hybrids. So they go there. Rocket's still dying. Adam Warlock comes in again to try and destroy the ship. And Gamora, who is guarding Rocket, ends up fighting them. We have a funny moment and the first MCU F-bomb starring Star-Lord. And Gamora isn't allowed into the High Evolutionaries Pyramid. However, Groot and Star-Lord are. Drax and Mantis then follow Quill when they should have stayed with Gamora. They didn't. And causes a great commotion. The pyramid starts rising up out the ground, ready to destroy the planet, because obviously the High Evolutionary doesn't think it's good enough and he's going to start again. Like he hasn't started again countless times before. And we have countless flashbacks to Baby Rocket and his friends, which is Teeth, Lila, and Flaw, which is a walrus, rabbit, and otter, which are the most crying scenes. Rocket almost dies. Groot and Star-Lord jump out of this flying pyramid and use Groot as like a wingsuit to save Star-Lord, which is absolutely insane. Nebula, Drax, and Mantis think Quill and Groot are still on the pyramid, so they climb onto the pyramid, get inside, and that's now in space. Quill, Groot meet up with Gamora, they heal Rocket, they save him, they put in the keypad and stop Rocket from dying, they heal him. They then team up with Adam Warlock to go back to the pyramid and blow it up. They then kill the High Evolutionary and try and save all the animals because Rocket has a change of heart and he sees all the baby raccoons. He finally accepts that he's a raccoon, and then everyone jumps back onto Nowhere because Kraglin and Cosmo move Nowhere right next to the flying pyramid so all the animals can get on, all the children can get off, and they're all safe. We then have everyone accepting and going their separate ways. Mantis is going to go live off her life, doing her own thing, leading her own path. Quill's going to go back to Earth and see his granddad. and Drax and Nebula stay on Nowhere to be like the president and mayor and like the teachers playing taking care of kids, and Rocket and Groot go off with Kraglin, Cosmo, one of the kids, and someone else, Adam Warlock, to form the new Guardians of the Galaxy, to form the newest Guardians of the Galaxy, and that new Guardians of the Galaxy lineup is incredible. It's being led by Rocket. He didn't die, which is so thankful because I love Rocket. He is my absolute favorite Guardian. So glad he didn't die. This movie had me crying when Lila died, when Rocket was screaming, the absolute pain, gut-wrenching sort of scream that he did when he saw Lila die in his arms. The fear and anxiety going through Floor when she's sort of screaming, teeth, Floor, Rocket, go now, teeth, Floor, Rocket, go now. Had me in tears. I was bawling, and we had Star-Lord almost suffocate for the third movie in a row. He's almost suffocated for 3 movies now in space. Surely people start remembering to bring their helmet. Apparently the excuse why he didn't have his helmet was he left it in his drawer in Nowhere, but he managed to pack everything else. Surely you would pack a helmet after almost suffocating 3 times. First time saving Gamora, second time almost suffocating but Yondu saves you, and then you crying and having a funeral for Yondu, and the third time, it's your turn again. Surely you would remember by now. That was my only nitpick with the movie. It's the third time he almost died. My girlfriend actually went to see this movie twice. She went with me, and then she went with her other friend to watch it again, and I actually sat and watched this with my girlfriend. I was so hyped. I was so happy. It is my favourite movie of the year by far. It is top 3. It is matched with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Mutant Mayhem and Across the Spider-Verse. They are the top 3 favourite movies. I have a couple of Marvel Legends figures from this movie. I have Rocket and Star-Lord. And I sort of did a review on those, and you can go check those out after this video. But I'm so happy with how it actually ended with the Guardians. They have all gone their own separate ways. They're all doing their own thing now. They all seem quite happy, and they're all confident. They're all have like a good character arc. They're all going on doing their life, sort of retiring from being the Guardians of the Galaxy. There was a secret ending which does say Star-Lord will return. I didn't expect him not to return. Chris Pratt gets so much fucking money from Star-Lord, and Star-Lord is one of his big break movies because he managed to get so many other sort of roles after Star-Lord. He got like the Lego movie, he got Garfield, Mario. Who else did he get? Owen Grady from Jurassic World. He's like one of the big household names now, and God, this movie was so good. It is on Disney Plus now, so you can go watch it. I love the story. Guardians of the Galaxy was one of the main sort of character groups that got me into Marvel. It was back in 2014. I didn't like the first 2 Avengers movies. I didn't like Iron Man, Hulk, Black Widow, or Hawkeye. I liked the Captain America films, and I didn't really like the Thor films that much. So Guardians of the Galaxy and Ant-Man were the 2 main characters that really got me into Marvel, and it does just go to show how far these characters can differ. We looked at Quantumania as a film review earlier on in the year, and it is an absolute shit show, but Guardians of the Galaxy, and like, these 2 films got me into Marvel. We have Ant-Man and Guardians of the Galaxy. We have seen how far Ant-Man has dropped in quality, but we've seen how far the Guardians have come and how far they've fucking grown and gone up in quality. It is incredible. James Gunn is an incredible director. He's such an amazing guy, and we just know the DCEU is in amazing hands now with him being like lead director of it. And there is a little bit of controversy about Adam Warlock not really having much to do in the movie. I think that's wrong. He is the one that kicked it all off. He's the one that kickstarted it. He's the one that did the damage to Rocket and then was hunting Rocket down for the rest of the film. He was like a good bounty hunter. I felt like he was put to good use. Not as good as he could have been done in Guardians of the Galaxy 2, but I think he was pretty much rock solid and as good as you could have got from him in this third movie. Rocket being our main star of the show is incredible. He is my absolute favourite character in Marvel. We have Spider-Man, Venom, Deadpool, Rocket. My top 4, Iron Fist and Nova, top 5 and 6. But he is easily one of the best characters in Marvel. He is so well written. and we have seen his character arc come full circle. He's gone from rejecting being called a raccoon and running from his past to accepting his past and accepting that he is a raccoon. And the last line of, like, one of his last one-liners where he's like, "My name's Rocket. Rocket Raccoon." Boof. Kills High Evolutionary. It hit so hard. Everyone in my cinema was like cheering. I was like sort of grabbing my girlfriend and shaking her like, "Hey, oh, he said it, he did it." Then all we got on TikTok was like thirst traps of Rocket, especially the way his mouth moves. That was one of the main sort of comments that I saw on his thirst traps. He's a raccoon, please stop posting thirst traps. It's not okay. But him getting to see Lila, Teefs, and Flora again in that sort of almost death scene. I'm allowed to talk about it without saying spoiler alert because it has been out for months now. It came out in May. We are now in November. I can legally talk about this film without saying spoiler alert. You clicked on this. You should know there's going to be spoilers. But otters and raccoons are some of my top favourite animals. My top favourite animals are like tigers, turtles, hedgehogs, raccoons, foxes, otters. I love rodents. I love animals. I love little furry ones. They're like my favourites, like the little rodents and the animals which don't get much love, like the sort of outcasts I'm going to put them as, like little rodents. I don't know how else to put them. Like, I don't know what sort of animal type they are other than rodent, but they're incredible. I also like how their sort of tech looked. It is obviously really painful for them and really gross and awful to have like mechanical arms and like the sort of ripping at the skin that the metal must do to them every time they're trying to move. Because if you just look at how some of it's connected to them, it must really hurt every time they move. And I was cringing when some of them were moving because of how painful it looked. The CGI and the effects of this was incredible. Like, to say it was partly made during lockdown, it did so fucking well for CGI. Groot and Rocket look incredible. I don't like how Groot looks in the post-credit scene. I don't like Giant Groot. I don't like him. I think he looks awful. I don't like the new design for Groot. I hope he does go back to either Teen Groot or Original Groot. Baby Rocket was so fucking cute and adorable. And the actors do really well. Again, with Rocket not actually being there, sometimes they have to hold like a stuffed teddy to sort of give them something to look at. It does actually feel like they're talking to him. Again, it is a Marvel movie, so you do expect that much higher quality than other movies. But it is an incredible movie and one of my favorites. There's so many unique characters, and again, it's a space movie. They can do whatever the fuck they want. It's a sci-fi movie. It's out of this world. You know, we're here for the crazy wackiness of the Guardians, the funny side, but they also managed to balance the serious side of it with Rocket dying, with Quill's and Gamora's relationship and how they're going now, because Gamora is now a Ravager. She doesn't remember anything. It's sort of like Quill's and Gamora's roles have switched, where Gamora is now the Ravager and Peter is now like a Earth-defending hero, and it just goes to show that we did all expect them to get back together at the end of the movie, but it subverted our expectations, and they didn't. They still had that little bit of a connection there, so maybe there is still hope, but it is incredible. It was such a good movie. I was so hyped for it after the two blockbuster fails of Black Panther Wakanda Forever and Ant-Man 2. They were such shit movies, and now we got such a banger, which gives me hope that the Marvel world is still on the rise. The Marvel universe isn't coming down, and Marvel is still on top. It is, again, one of my favorite movies, and I genuinely cannot wait to see the Guardians return again, and I hope they do return again, because they did leave it open for that, with Star-Lord saying he will return, and them making a new Guardians team. And I hope that new Guardians team still gets Guardians movies, because that team is fucking solid. It's got Groot, it's got Rocket, it's got Cosmo, some of the best three Guardians, as well as Kraglin and Adam Warlock, some of the greatest sort of Guardians in total, and I'm so excited. But this movie was a straight 10 out of 10. I cannot give it anything less. I think it was perfect, and I don't care about the film hype. The hype is over now, but I'm still so hyped to talk about it and to get a review out of it. All right, bye.